F1 22 is here, and like me, I'm sure you cannot wait to get stuck in. Whether that's setting lap records or creating your own team and cementing yourself in Formula 1 history. But before you do any of that, here are 5 things you must do before you start playing F1 22. First, you will want to know how good you actually are. There is nothing worse than jumping into a driver or my team career mode and being miles off the pace, driving around on your own, all because you were far too cocky and thought 110 AI would be a walk in the park. Or you've underestimated yourself and are winning races in the Williams at round 1. To find out what AI level best suits you, head into Grand Prix mode. Select the AI you think you should be running and do a short qualifying session. Now compare your final lap times with your teammate, and if you are much slower, lower the difficulty, or if you are too fast, increase it. Keep repeating this until you are within 3/10 of them. Now you are ready for a more enjoyable but competitive career mode experience. When jumping into a new F1 game or even into the Formula 1 franchise for the first time, deciding what assist to run and what to turn off can always be a challenge. Crashing after turn 1 again and again is not only going to leave you frustrated, but you also won't learn anything, and chances are you'll turn off your console never to return to F1 again. So here's what assist to run and what not to run if you are a newbie. Steering assist and braking assist, these basically control the car for you. So if you actually want to play the game, it's wise to turn these off. I'd keep anti-lock brakes and traction control on for now, and as you progress and get better, you can slowly turn these down. Dynamic Racing Line shows you the optimal way to go. You can put this on for corners only for now, and as you learn each circuit, you can remove it in the future. Gearbox depends on if you have a wheel or not. If you do, definitely turn this to manual, otherwise it kind of defeats the point of having a steering wheel. But if you are a controller user, it's better to stick to automatic for now. Pit assist depends on your own personal preference. If you want less to think about during pit stops, then keep it on, but if you want a more immersive experience, turn them off. Just remember though, to slow down for the pit lane. Finally, DRS and ERS. For DRS, turn this one off. It's only one button you occasionally push, and the game reminds you through visual and audio input, so it's not too much for a beginner. As for ERS, it's better to keep this one on for now, as it's a lot to manage and think about, especially if you are new. If though you want to learn to play F1 22 without any assist or just to get better at the game, then make sure you subscribe to the channel for future tips and tricks videos. Now when driving, you may feel like your screen can be at times a bit too congested, with information all over the place and some of it not even that useful. So it's always good to filter through what you want and don't want on screen when driving. To do this, head over to on-screen display in the settings and toggle on or off what you want to see. You can take this further as well by editing your on-screen display, moving each individual display around to what best suits you, even going as far as increasing the size of them. For example, I find the practice program tasks far too big and in the way, so I'm going to move them to the top of my screen and make them smaller. If like me you have the Champions version of the game, you will have a whopping 18,000 pit coins to spend as you please. And I know it's tempting to spend them all at once on the new branded items from Puma, Sparco, Beats in F1 Life, or the new liveries, helmets and overalls for your My Team career, but instead you should buy the Pit Lane Pass. You will unlock most of these items anyway as you play, and as a bonus, when you get to certain levels, you will receive more pit coins, replenishing the coins spent on the Pit Lane Pass in the first place. So when a new series begins, you will be able to buy it once again, giving you an infinite access to the bonus items in F1 22. Of course, if you don't have the Champions Edition and are starting off with 0 pit coins, you can buy 9,000 of these, and following this trick will always have access to the Pit Lane Pass. Now finally, before you start your career mode, whether it be driver or my team career, you are going to want to know what settings are best to use. Firstly, driver moves. Now, if you want a career that's more unpredictable with drivers moving year to year, then make sure to turn this on. However, fans of older drivers like Alonso, Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas and Ricciardo, you will only be able to enjoy having these drivers as your teammate for 1 or 2 seasons. So if you are a fan of one of these drivers, then make sure to turn driver moves off to keep them around for longer. Keep R&D management on so you can make sure your car actually develops into a better one. As for the resource settings, now this all depends on how many seasons you plan on doing. If you are in it for the long haul and want to do all 10, then set these to reduced. On the other hand, if 1 or 2 seasons is more your thing, then feel free to increase these settings and watch teams rise and fall between race weekends. Finally, on to faults. If a relaxed career mode is more your thing and you don't